Hey there and welcome to the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. My name's Thomas and in this tutorial I am going to show you how to make these super cute and super sweet tiny creamy Easter eggs. Woohoo! So today we are keeping it quick and easy because that's exactly how it is to make those super fun, tiny, creamy Easter eggs. I called them creamy Easter eggs because they remind me of the little chocolates or the little chocolate eggs that we get here during Easter season. And I think they also look a little bit like egg-shaped macarons. So this works absolutely perfect. They do look a little bit like sweets, but of course they are all crochet and they don't even have like a yummy creamy filling, but I think with the white border around it they definitely look like creamy eggs. And I think they are super fun to make. I'm using cotton yarn. You can use all kinds of yarn. I do have a bag of leftover yarns from previous projects, so I'm definitely going to use them. It's really a great stash buster project, and you don't even need filling because the filling are basically the yarn ends. And as I mentioned, use all the yarn that you have. I think they look especially pretty with the different colored yarns. They look a little bit like marbled, which I absolutely love. Unfortunately, I don't have much of this yarn left, so I'm going to use another one. I'm going to use a 4mm hook for this project, mainly because the cotton yarn that I'm using is 8/8 quality. Of course, make sure when you use a thinner cotton yarn to adapt the hook size for it. And then, of course, you need a yarn needle. I get asked about those yarn needles quite a lot. This one here was from Katja, but I also have a package of the exact same needles from Knit Pro. So if you want to get yourself some of those, search for Katja or Knit Pro yarn needles. Then, of course, you would need some scissors. And what I think would be helpful is to have 2 stitch markers, so we always know where we ended the round. And with that, we are good to go. For this tutorial, I'm going to make another yellow one because it's my favorite color and I think it looks a lot like Easter. And the beginning is with a magic circle. If you have your own way of making the magic circle, please do so. Otherwise, this is my way of doing it. I do as if I would do a slip knot and I'm not closing it. I put my finger right in there. I take my end yarn and put it in the center. And then I just close my slip knot and grab the loop. And here we go, is my magic circle. Now we are going to start by making 9 half double crochets in the magic ring or magic circle, and for that I'm just pulling out my loop a little bit until I have the height of a half double crochet, and then I can start already. You yarn over, go in the magic ring, grab the yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 of them. And this we do 8 more times until we have 9 half double crochets in our magic ring. So yarn over, go in the ring, grab the yarn, pull it through, 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 of them. And we stop once we have 9 half double crochets. Here we go, 9 half double crochets in our magic ring. Now I'm going to close the ring just slightly. I don't close it completely, because now we can directly start with the second round. And the second round starts as follows. In the next stitch, which is the top of our very first half double crochet, I'm going to make a single crochet. So go in the stitch under both of the loops, pull the yarn through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Then we go to the next top of the previous half double crochet, our second stitch, and in this stitch we are going to make 2 single crochets. So 1, and in the same stitch a second one. Then we go into the third stitch. In here we are going to make just a single crochet. Then we are at the fourth stitch of the round, and we start with a single crochet. And in the same stitch we are going to make a half double crochet, because now we are creating our egg shape. Then we are at the fifth stitch, which is also like the center of our starting ring with half double crochets. And the first stitch that we are going to do is another half double crochet. Then in the same stitch a regular double crochet. So you yarn over, grab the yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2 to have a double crochet. Then in the same stitch we make a third stitch, and this is again a half double crochet. So you yarn over and make another half double crochet. Then we go into our sixth stitch, and in this stitch we are now going down. We make a half double crochet, and in the same stitch we make a single crochet. Then we are at the seventh stitch. In the seventh stitch we make a single crochet, and then we continue with our eighth stitch, and in this eighth stitch we make 2 single crochets. And then we are already at our last stitch, and here we make a single crochet. So basically what we did while going up, we do the same thing in reverse. And now we are done with the round, and we are just going to slip stitch in the next stitch, which was also our first single crochet. And we can then cut the yarn. And this is also where I place my first stitch marker in, and I just put it on there only in the back loop, because when we put the 2 half eggs together we are just going to use the back loops. Then I yarn over, pull the yarn through, secure it, and then I already take it to the back by taking one of the yarn strands that I see and just pull it through so I don't have it in my way. And now I can also close the magic ring, because our first half egg is done. And now, of course, we need another one. So now that we have both of our half eggs, we can then start crocheting them together. And for that I'm taking my white yarn. Of course you can also use whatever yarn color you like. You can also make the 2 half eggs in different colors. That's absolutely optional. And I will put it on my hook, the white yarn, with a slip knot. And I will just take out my stitch marker and grab this first back loop. And then I take my second egg, I turn it so both of the insides are on the inside, and I will not pick the loop where the stitch marker is in. I will take the loop that's right next to it, because then our stitches will match up. You can also now release the other stitch marker. This was just to help us to not lose the stitches and to know where we start. And now we can start by yarning over and pulling the yarn through stitch by stitch or loop by loop. And now we are going to alternate. So first we take the next loop from the top and then from the bottom, and then in the stitch after that we take it from the bottom and then from the top, but I will show you the whole round either way, so no worries. So up next for our second stitch, we are going to pick the next loop from the top, the inner loop or the back loop, of course, and then we are going to pick the back loop from the front, then yarn over with the white yarn. Always make sure to keep it in between the two half X, and then pull it through stitch by stitch. Now we continue by starting with the back loop in the front, and then we pick the back loop from the top, yarn over and pull it through each of the loops until you can make a slip stitch. Now we go up again, take the upper loop, take the loop in front, yarn over and pull it through and slip stitch. Now we are back in the bottom, and it's okay to, if you mix it up at some point, it's absolutely fine. I just feel like it's a little bit more cohesive looking when we alternate grabbing the yarn from the top or from the back, from the bottom, then again the next loop from the top, and then from the bottom and slip stitch. And like this, we just go along our egg. Connecting the sides. Another one from the top. And now I stop for a sec, because now it would be time to just take all of those yarn ends, because we really don't have to worry about them, because the yarn ends are our filling. And if you feel like there could be a little bit more yarn ends in there, you can always, when you have, take pieces or cut off yarn ends from previous projects, and they can also be like in a different color, like I had it here. Usually this shouldn't show, and you can definitely use that as filling. And from there we can then just continue. Our next one is from the bottom, then we have one from the top, and now there's only one stitch left, so we pick the one in the front, and then we pick our last loop. If you have left the stitch marker in there, this would be the spot where it would have been, and then take the yarn, pull it through, and now we can cut our white yarn. And then we just take it through, grab the yarn needle, and now what I'm going to do is basically like the invisible finish, but for the egg. So we are not going in the first stitch, we are going in the second stitch here from our side, and we go from the side under both of those loops, and we just pull it through. And then we go back right in the same stitch where we started this invisible finish. And here I will just pull my yarn needle through until I reach the part where I can put it out, and then we can just put it in there. Don't drag on it too much, just so that it stops. It looks like our other stitches. And then all we have to do is to cut it, and if there's a little bit of yarn peeking out, you can always push it in, and like that your creamy Easter egg is already done. Super fast, super easy, and a lot of joy. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you will make lots and lots of tiny creamy Easter eggs. They are also like a perfect gift. I will definitely put 1 or 2 of those eggs for Easter in each of my neighbors' mailboxes, just to bring a little bit fun and joy. And I hope to see you back again next time, only at the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. Bye! Let's do it again. Let those eggs fly. Woohoo!